What is going on, gang? Oh, I'm here. I got, you know what? You probably can't see it right now, but I got my blanket. I'm all like huddled up and everything. Oh, it's frickin' cold down here. Holy crap! Did I say frickin'? Is this even Chuck's show? What the fuck was that? He said frick. Ugh. Um, I'm really excited about today. First off, we have our first Australian, which is always cool. And just a delightful dude. He is another one of those guys who works so hard. So I'm really excited about that. I think this is just going to be a really fun show today. We don't have him on for as long as I would like, but I mean, do we ever have anybody on for as long as we'd like? Not so much. Let's make this thing public. See if we get any. Trish is in the house. What's going on, beautiful? Mike's in the house. Cool. We got things going on. Will Pace, what's up, buddy? How you doing? I'm gonna give it another minute. Let's just spin this up. We got a really good show today. I've got a writer, editor, letterer here. He's going to talk about all that kind of stuff. I think we're mostly going to focus on lettering today, but I'm really excited. I feel like, and I think he and I both feel the same way. It's something that people, especially in the comics community, just don't spend enough time focusing on. It's kind of like, I guess I would liken it to people who love watching bands and whatnot. And they're like, oh man, I absolutely love, the guitarist and the singer and sometimes the drums. And it's like, do you ever listen to the bass? So yeah, anyways, we got some good people in here. Everything is coming. You know what? Don't have a lot of time. Let's make this happen. You know what time it is, my good friends? Boom.
Canadian bacon is actually really good, and it's nothing like normal bacon, and it's better than ham, which you guys seem to call Canadian bacon. I'm very good at writing. I write very well. Yeah, it's Shop Talk.
Do some of your audience members like the word fuck? Cool. Then I'm going to keep saying fuck. Because I care.
What's up, everybody? I've got with me today my good buddy, Stephen Kok. Stephen, say hi to everybody.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me on. It's cold. You guys are in the middle of a snowstorm. Like
we're in the middle of unseasonable. This is stupid weather. Like I'm Canadian, but even nonetheless, this is that not cool cold. Like it gets down to close to freezing, and people here will complain. I'm like, yeah, it's starting to get cold. When it gets down to for us centigrade users, like 5 degrees or so, and you're like, yeah, okay, it's starting to get cold. It's getting close to zero. That's not fun. But once it dips below that, well, now you're just getting stupid. And I moved away from that shit on purpose. Steven, now, do you prefer Steven or S?
Oh, look, no, by the way, I'm going to, little secret, SK is my initials. So it's spelled phonetically, so that's why it's SK. Mainly because throughout my high school and throughout my work, I've always had another Steven in the group. Or it's just, and even in my current job, I've got another Steven in the group. So I attract Stevens. We congregate. We Stevens attract other Stevens. So I just go by SK in most cases and I'll let the other guy be Steven, then I'll be SK. So it's working pretty well.
I assumed you went by Steven because of jerks like me who would snicker at Kok. So I thought that's why. I was like, oh, he's smart, man, because if he went by Kok, I mean, I make fun of Eric Cockrell all the time. So,
Oh, look, that's fine. Like, I've been through high school. So if I survived high school, I survived.
My last name's Pino, man. Like, I totally get it. I mean, if you're going to get it, you got to give it. Cool. So you've got a really wonderful book coming out right now, Wordsmith Volume 3.
Yeah. I love it. And I suppose, and this is probably the one thing about indie creators, and I'm going to talk a little bit more philosophical in the part. So because in most cases, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if there's going to be a Volume 2, Volume 3, or whatever that come down the line. So, and this is a comment a lot of people give. It's like, oh, your book 1 doesn't have too much lore, or I don't even know name the city or whatever it is. And they mention stuff like that. And I always say to them, there is actually a really good reason for it. Because I don't know if there's going to be a second book. And as opposed to Wordsmith, I've been really lucky that it's actually up to this third book now. That usually in the second or third book, you can start going, oh my God, there's an audience. Because if you write all the stuff in the first book, nobody's going to care. And it actually detracts from the story a little bit. If you spend time building the lore, you pull away from the characters in the story. So it's the whole world building thing. How much do you world build and how much do you plot? And when you reach the third book, which is really fantastic, I get a chance to actually world build. I actually get a chance to say, hey, look, here's a little bit more about how the story works. There's a little bit more how the mechanics of the world works. While I'll be honest with you, in the first book, it's a MacGuffin. Everything that the lead character does, you just have to assume she knows how to do something. But I think in the third book, which is a lot more fun, is I can actually explain how she does it. It's like a mechanic. Oh, I'll fix your car. But in the third book, you can say, hey, look, I've actually tuned your engine, changed the oil and whatever. You can actually have that conversation. But yeah, it's fantastic. And the good thing about it is, and you said you're Canadian, Wordsmith, the first volume, is in about 100 Canadian libraries, public libraries.
Dude, you see, and that was something I wanted to talk to you about, because you are somebody who's hit libraries in a way that nobody else has. What is it specifically about the library that has you? I mean,
I can tell you the whole story. I love this part.
Yeah.
Number one, and more than anything else, and I can easily, and Chuck, you know this, I can easily say this. I wish I was doing this for the money. Come on, let's get the laughter out of the way first. We're doing this for the money. We're not. Look, a lot of times we're doing this is to get read and to get books out there. So and the good thing is, some books are not library made. Let's put it flat out. Punisher, not quite your library book. The Garth Ennis Punisher, The Boys, not quite your library medium. But I was very, very lucky that Wordsmith, especially it's aimed more towards kids. It's like a Pixar movie. There's some sad parts to it or whatever. But the good thing about it is it deals with words, it deals with emotions and that type of things, which so I was actually reached out to by one Australian library. One particular librarian, she got hold of it and she loved it. And she told other librarians who told other librarians. And then damn, my secret's out. But then she told other librarians, and then suddenly it was like, oh gosh, it's growing. And then I don't know. I'm really deadly serious with you guys. Librarians talk to librarians. It is like this secret network, and it's a fantastic network, because suddenly I had someone from Singapore saying, really? You had, because I used one particular Singapore artist to do a pinup in one of my books. They found out there was a Singapore connection in one of my books. Suddenly, it's in Singapore. And then I used a Singaporean, Canadian illustrator to do a pinup. And he actually did like 2 pages before. He just did a short story for me. He's from Alberta, actually. So suddenly, boom. There's Canadian connection. Suddenly, kind of saying the book is great. It's also in something called in Australia, there's something called the Premier's Reading Challenge. So in every state, there's a premier.
Yep.
And basically all the kids take part. And they can only read a certain number of books. And like, I think in my state, there's 300,000 kids every year who takes part. Wordsmith is in that Premier's Reading Challenge, and which means that kids can actually read it, count it towards their total. And if they hit 30 books they've read over the year, they get a special certificate. You hit 50 books, you get different things. It's encouraged kids to read. My book's on that list, that the approved list of things to read. And once it hit that list, because the librarians were talking about it, I was lucky enough to get invited to schools. And I've been to a lot of different schools to do workshops and stuff like that. And then school libraries started picking it up as well. And after a while, it's gone crazy, I have to freely admit. It's in terms of saying that, though, again, and I just want to stress this, the money isn't there. I'll be really honest with you. The money's, but for me to actually get kids, like 12-year-old kids, actually writing reviews about my book. That's better than any review that anybody else can write. Mainly because, especially when you read their reviews, and sometimes they didn't like it. Like one of them says it's a bit sad. I didn't like the book. And I love it because with kids, it's such honest reviews. Like I think, Chuck, when you do a review, you have to be objective. You have to separation of artists or whatever. Kids don't have that. It's like, this sucks. Oh, this is good. And I've been on both gamuts as well, and it's so honest, and that's why I love it. That's why kids' reviews are the best as well. I know it's a bit of a tangent, but yeah.
No. I think that's lovely, and I love that you were able to get into there. Are you finding, because you have this interest in like Canadian libraries and that kind of stuff, have you done much international travel? Like, has there been any?
COVID, everything was.
Oh yeah, but so was there any interest pre-COVID?
A little bit, but it's. Most of them would say, look, if you come here, we'll take care of A, B, and C. But the flights are still in the thousands. So it's like, love you guys. I get a lot of offers along the lines of, if you're in country, we would love you too. And you gotta be fair. Like, libraries are not, they don't have huge funding. So a lot of them do. I'm actually working with Kevin on a couple of things. So Kevin's brilliant as well.
Same, good dude.
When we talk about lettering, I'm actually lettering the Listener, which is one of the books Kevin's promoting right now. So just because interest of time, there's so much I want to talk to you guys about as well. But no. If anybody, and I'll open book up to this, look, most of the people on the chat do know who I am on Facebook. It's SK. And if you go to Indie Comics Conspiracy, I am pretty active there. So I maintain like 5 different lists. I do the AMAs, whatever. If you look, you will find me really easily. Or just post up there saying, I want to talk to you about. And I will find you. And it'll be really, really easy for me to... have a chat to you about that. Peyton, who's just on, he actually does the coloring for Wordsmith. I don't know if you know.
No, I didn't know that. But Peyton, I think Peyton is having a laugh with me because he's telling you how warm it is. Meanwhile, I'm bundled up in a freaking blanket because it's sub-zero temperatures here. Peyton, I'm watching you, buddy. I'm watching you.
Oh, no.
So why don't we're going to probably finish up with lettering. Of course, writing is I assume your main deal. Like, that's what what really brought you onto the scene and what really matters to you. And I've seen, I've heard what you talk about and how important all that is and everything. So I love that. Okay. So Peyton's down here too. Yeah. Okay. So you know what's up, buddy. Yeah. It's not fun here. But editing is something that you and I share too, because you do a fair amount of editing as well, right?
I do. The one thing, and I always get to, is plot points. And I do what they call grammatical edits. You know, the commas in the right place.
Proofing,
then there, all that stuff. So I do all that. That's actually not more. I do it, but that's really technical. And I just find you've got a set of rules. You just basically read through the rules and, click. And I find that I'll do it, but it's very methodical. The one I do enjoy is when you send me a plot point. You send me the act outline, and I absolutely love it. Because what I find is, and I actually finished one up for somebody, really recently. And I was saying, your plot points don't add up. This person was... in the beginning, she's afraid of this, and the end, nothing's changed, and she's gone through all this, and you could have it that nothing changes, but it's like forgotten halfway. It's like she was afraid of this, it's forgotten for Act 2, and then it's reminded in Act 3 she's still afraid of it, and you're just going, stuff like that. And I think more importantly, and this is something that most people don't do really well, and all my books, a good writer has at least, and this is back to sitcom writing, have an A and B story. always, I cannot stress enough, if you just have an A story, and more importantly, if you have your B story, your B story has to be thematically linked to your A story. You can't have a B story which has nothing to do with your A story. It baffles me. It's and I like using say Star Wars as an example. You had the A story, which was Luke's journey, and you had the B story, which is, we have to stop the Death Star, Rebel Alliance or whatever, and it all comes nicely at the end where Luke's the one who blows up the Death Star, but it was really Luke's journey trying to find out who his dad is. I think I spoiled it. Darth Vader is his dad. It's been 30 years.
Dude, spoiler alert. Come on, we're not that kind of show, Stephen.
Too soon.
Right.
But you know what I mean. So it's got that two elements with it, and like Han Solo was wrapped up very much in the B story. He didn't want to join the rebels, but in the end he did. But having that all linked up properly, it's fantastic. You don't have to do Game of Thrones, which has an A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yeah.
God knows. But a good A and B story is probably the first thing I would say. Learn how to write properly. Absolutely learn how to write a proper A and B story. And the thing is, you could have the A and B story to be of the same character. You don't need to split characters off on A and B story because, for example, the A story could be, I'm going on a quest. My B story is, I'm learning different things along the way on said quest. So the A story is, I'm going to kill the dragon. Use it as the basic thing. But on the way to kill the dragon, I'm still learning how to use a sword, how to block with a shield or whatever. That's a very much B story because that's the learning part of it.
Well, I mean, that A and B story that you're talking about, Star Wars is just as good an example because Luke is a part of that rebellion. So of course that connects him to both the A and B story.
Exactly, and you have to get that nice thematic links, and without it, and like I've seen people write A and B stories where the B story's got nothing to do with the A story, and you're just going. If you're a reader and you read it very differently, the problem is you want to keep this what they call the suspension of disbelief. Anything that you do which pulls the reader out of that suspension, you've done a bad job. You want it that while he's reading it, you're in that little world where he's navigating your world, your characters, your plotline. The moment you pull him out of that, even for why are we talking about a different character? Why are we talking about somebody else? You've done a bad job, I would say. Mm-hmm. And I think that's thematic. And look, if you nail that down, most stories, you can improve a lot of stories just by introducing a really good B story. And I think I'll leave the
No. I think that was a really good good point. I like that a lot, and that's actually something that people need to consider when they're working. Now, lettering. We're going to move into lettering because we don't have tons of time.
Lettering is visual, so I've shared the screen with you. So if you want to pop that one.
I'm definitely going to pop that up. Let's do that right now.
And yep, I know lettering is Peyton's pet hate. He's mentioned to me a few times. So. Peyton, I love it. So, but to each their own. So with lettering, the main thing it is technical. Look, I'll run it through, but it's also very artistic in terms of placements and things like that. So this is the standard font I use, which I have to admit is called CC Wild, which is basically used by Wildstorm. I know Marvel has moved back to upper lowercase lettering. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. Wrong. Bad Marvel. Whoever you gave that directive to, stop it.
So I would then ask you why. That's the good editor question. Why are you not okay with that?
Okay, mainly because with lettering, you're meant to be invisible. A good letterer should not be noticed at all. You should not be noticed. You should be as inconspicuous as you like, as inconspicuous as possible. The problem when you have upper and lower case, again, it draws attention to it. Now, if everything's the same font, that's one less thing that draws people's eye. It's, same font. Okay, we keep reading. Now, it's like seeing my screen now. There's 5-6 different fonts in there. It mucks with your eye. You know what I mean? You're going, that all looks different. Same thing with upper and lower case. It mucks with your suspension of disbelief. If you keep everything as one standard, i.e. all uppercase, it's easier the more you are invisible as a letterer, the better you are. Now that's where the upper lowercase mucks it all up, because it makes it go, oh gosh, I notice it. The fact that when I read it and I notice it, it means the letterer's done a bad job.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really bad directive from Marvel to go back to those type of lettering, because it, actually, tell you the truth, it wasn't there for, I think it was there a long time ago, and then they moved into the full uppercase. And I would say, let's get back to it. Let's get it where lettering's invisible as much as possible. So, look, this is actually my portfolio sample sheet. Look, I put a whole bunch of stuff in there. The one thing I know you probably will notice, I'll show you in this. If you can see here, that's not an oval. It's not an oval shape, and that's probably the other big mistakes a lot of lettering people do. Is they just take the shape and make it oval. That looks really, really bad. It's actually a little bit more rectangular that's been squished. If you can kind of see how that. And I think that's the key to making it look good. It needs to be that almost that squished rectangle shape, and I think that's the perfect shape for it. So yep.
There's also something else before we get to that. A lot of people don't realize this, but there's also a certain amount of distance that you need between the lines and
Correct.
between the words and the bubble. And a lot
Correct.
of people don't really tend to understand that or know that, but there's a very specific number. What is that?
So it depends. I'm sorry to do this. I'm not sorry to use the depends card. It's by the way, that's called kerning. So
yes,
it depends on the type of font, and it depends also on how thick you do the bubble around it. So depending on that, you can get away with it, but it has to be consistent all throughout. That's probably the main. And again, lettering is all about consistency. I don't care if you use. Actually, I do care if you use Comic Sans, because that's a horrible lettering font. Use Wildwoods or Evil Genius or something, but please don't use Comic Sans. It's not. It's really badly in terms of shape and consistency. And I will always keep mentioning consistency, because you want to be invisible as a letterer.
So in talking about the consistency, sorry, real quick,
yeah, sure.
You had said before the show, when you and I were talking, that and I think this is very smart, you said, I use Control-C and Control-V. I copy and paste everything. You put it on there. If I notice something glaring, I'll change it, but I'm not proofing it, which I respect the hell out of. And I even said it to you, and I'll say it to the people out there. You pay letterers and editors make pretty much the least amount of money out of everyone else. So then to expect your letterer to also take on the job of editing is a dick move. You're going to keep charging them a low amount of money, but hey, could you do double the work?
Oh no, it's also more the fact that I don't want a situation. And look, thank God, I'm very clear with everybody about this. If you miss a spelling mistake and it goes to print, and let's say I accidentally introduced that spelling mistake, I would feel absolute crap. I would feel, and I would, by the way, I always say it's not if I make a mistake, it's actually your job to find my mistake as well, because I will Control-C, Control-V, but hypothetically, I could, cut something less. It's up to you to find it and let me know. I will fix it as many times as you like. I'm not the type of guy, you have 3 rounds. With lettering, you can tell me as many times as you like until it's right. But it's not my job to fix up your spelling. And it's not if I accidentally introduce a spelling error, that's why I did the Control-C, Control-V. I wanted that you guys sort it out, if you know what I mean. So just in terms of timing, like probably about 10 minutes left. So that's why I do want to run through some cool stuff about lettering. So for example, the main thing that you want to do with lettering is to try to get it into that little bit of a triangular shape. If you notice, top line is more, second line is less, and it works its way down. So that very much triangular shape. I would say this, especially a lot of creators who are out there, and these type of posts, and I would, talk to your letterer, whoever you're doing it. These type of posts have the hugest engagements, and I lie. Videos have the hugest engagement. If you do a short video, that blows everything away. But if you put a link up, or you put one of these things here where you're explaining what is this, it's now on Kickstarter or now on Indiegogo or whatever it is, people love them. the engagement is absolutely huge. So I'm always saying, if you have a letter, just tell. And the thing is, in most cases, I don't charge for this because I'm already on that page. I'm already giving him a speech bubble. For me to change the words a little bit, it's no big deal for me.
Yeah.
And and most letters will be okay with that. Oh, with this panel, can you just have him say what he says, and then can you also have him say it's now on Kickstarter or now on Indiegogo or whatever it is. And honestly, it's huge engagement, absolutely huge engagement. So in most cases, you can see here, when you have captions, try to make it as square as possible. So it's slightly different from that triangular shape when you do captions to make it a square. Like, for example, here, with the Greek daemon, you try to make it so it fits the captions as possible. You're just trying to make it so that you can see here the triangular shape. It's to get that right shape right.
So
there is
can you move up a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
There was a bubble that said forward.
Yep. So in
No,
this
it was a panel up.
Yep. Oh, sorry, this one. Forward.
Yep.
Bottom. Yeah. It's always fun. And
yeah.
So when
the thing about that is that's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no! When I choose, there's two things with this one. It was requested in the script, and number one, it's in the end of the day, it's your comic. I will do whatever you tell me to. You know what I mean? But one thing I really like is especially when you letter certain things, is you have to try to match the colors as much as the background. So if I made that blue, for example, it's gonna stand out like nothing else. But if you make it that yellow and that reddish, it actually matches the helmet and the cape a little bit more. And having it burst out the bubble a little bit.
And again, you're staying consistent. You're not getting in the way. You're not trying to be dramatic. Yeah, I like that.
Cool. Okay, so and you can kind of see here, custom bubbles. It's always fun, but have a think about why you're doing custom bubbles. So these are custom bubbles because he's talking telepathically. The dragon's not actually speaking. He's like sending mental energies out. So when you do it, it's always a bit of fun, but always have a reason behind it. And the thing is, it's also back to the consistency idea that if that's used consistently through to demonstrate the dragon's talking to you mentally, people will remember that and it will pick up. That's where, but it's a bit of fun as well. I love doing those. Other thing would be is stuff that you have to put behind.
Sorry, I'm just letting you do your thing. You're doing great.
Oh, sorry. Behind, for example, in this panel, the chanting is happening behind. So you've got to put the letters behind. There's a lot of letterers who, for whatever reason, and I've gone to disagreements. I won't say arguments, but disagreement with some letterers goes, always needs to be in front. I'm going, no, the sound needs to go where the sound needs to go. In this case, the chanting is happening by the demons at the back. So the chanting has to be behind the guy. And so you just have to know locations of sound, because with a letterer, you can do cool and weird things. So make sure you get the location right and understand where the location comes from. So this one's a bit interesting. And I like this one, mainly because it's with lettering, follow the natural reading order. So in most cases, you can see here, try to put it so that the words are to the left. And I'm talking American comics. If you're doing Asian, you reverse the order. In this case, you can see how you're reading it. Left to right, to left to right, to left to right, to left to right. And it kind of merges in because, and this is where you can get a bit artistic, because you can kind of see in this panel, he's thinking as he's drowning. And you can see the final image of him drowning. So you want the last bubble to be exactly where he's drowning. So you kind of have it inch towards it, if you can kind of see. And the last one is just where this guy is drowning. And that's where letters can have a lot of fun. And that's the artistic part about lettering, that you get to make those decisions. Some special effects, usual stuff. He's shooting. Sound, again, put it where the muzzle is. And then put the impact where the impact is, the bam's there. The sounds where, the alarm clock's going off. when you do booms, have it curve usually to the shape of the explosion. That's always interesting. And this one's a bit of fun because this one, she has a computer in her head in this particular case. So I did all when the computer's talking in a slightly different color. Again, the font is the same, mainly because, I could have chosen different font, but it's just that suspension of disbelief. You want it to be so consistent that people basically ignore it. And you just have the blue in there so they know it's the computer talking. And anything that you can do to make it consistent it's great. When you're laughing, it's always fun to sometimes put the laugh outside the panel. And then you can have the laugh kind of drift away. So from this example, it's really easy to see that he's laughing, but it doesn't distract from what he's saying. And again, the whole triangle thing, you can see how the triangle fits. Again, with the name across it, Same thing with the special effects. You can see with the schlick, it goes across, again, following the direction of the movement. And with the roar again, that's where the mouth comes from, so it moves its way up. And you can kind of see here as well. In most cases, I tend to like to cut the balloon, but I couldn't because there's too much verbiage here that I couldn't fit in here, so it had to go off panel. I'm not a big fan of going off panel, but in most cases, sometimes you just have to. Because rule number 1 of lettering, if you block someone's face, you've stuffed up. Never ever block somebody's face.
Yeah.
And, usual thing, a lot of verbiage here. But again, it's basically arcing its way down. You can read it. This one's actually a bit more of a demonstration panel, so I could have a lot of fun with the, that's breaking, that's there. And the splash is slightly different font as well as he falls in. And this is the last one. I like this one. Some people aren't fans of this one, where you can see through. But I think when you have something that's a bit more gore, a bit more visceral, a see-through font is pretty cool. Yeah, and look, I really hope that gives you that quick snapshot into lettering. It is artistic.
Yeah.
You can kind of see all the thought processes that go into something like that. And where somebody comes back to me and won't name names, but once somebody said to me, "Oh, look, your rate is too high," surely it takes you 5 minutes to put a letter job, just put some dialogue on the page. I'm going, it takes me 5 minutes to read your damn script per page and understand it. What makes you think it's a 5-minute job? And my back to a lot of people who come back, and you can see I've got a bit of angst here with this one. It's not that easy. I've been doing this for years and years and years, and I still screw up. And and not just that, I'm still learning. I am still learning like new techniques, new tricks, and I love it because I'll be honest with you, I've got a whole stack of fonts. I'm just waiting for the right project to come along, because I found this one font called Dark Arts, which is all mystical symbols. And I'm just waiting for someone to give me a magic project, so that when they say fire, instead of putting fire, I can put all these symbols in.
Well, why don't you create a story that allows you to use that font? I'm going to do something where I could.
Imagine this. So what was your inspiration behind the story? Oh, I just want to use this font. I've been trying to use this font. I made the story
I think that's hilarious. Hilarious. And especially if someone is so explosively drawn into this and they're just this is a brilliant story. How did you come up with this? And you're like, I needed something that was as cool as this font. That's hilarious.
Oh man. I haven't reached that level yet, but I've got all these fonts. I'll be honest with you, I'm just waiting for them. I'm going, I need a good magic story because I'm dying to use the font's called Dark Arts if anybody wants to see it, but it's all mystical symbols. I'm just dying to use it. Oh, look, I am running out of time because I have to run. So what I'm going to do is in the last second, and Chuck's been really great to me. I'm just going to share my screen one last time just to show you the project I'm currently working on. Colors by Peyton Freeman because he's on the chat. So Peyton's done amazing colors. I'll always love Peyton's work. And you can see this is all Peyton's beautiful color. And I love the artist as well. So it's a steampunk fantasy adventure. The whole concept behind it is that's Victoria. She crafts magical words and words basically evoke an emotion when you open the box up. So she puts the word in a box, and I'll show it to you just quickly. I love all this, but when you open the box up, a word pops up. But the whole point, and this is what the whole MacGuffin of the story. That's the MacGuffin of the story. But the whole concept behind it is words have different meaning to different people. So the whole idea is that, for example, the word fear, and this is plays a little bit into this volume. Fear is actually just bravery if you twist it, because you're not brave because you can do something. In fact, if you do something and it doesn't bug you, you're not brave. You're just doing it. If you do something and it scares the crap out of you, that makes you brave. And that's a very subtle difference, you know. So being brave is acting in spite of fear. If you're not afraid, you're not brave. You cannot. It's separated into. And the other word that comes through was like the word home. What's home to you? Is it a place? Is it people? Is it your safe space? What is it? And different words have so many different connotations. And I haven't even started playing around with palindromes yet. That's volume 5, 6 down the track, where words can be switched around. But the whole concept about, and this is why librarians love it, because it allows people to understand that there is so much deeper meanings in the word, and it's played out. So, for example, this word is actually meant to make this guy very scared. But in fact, he's going, I love it because it's exactly what I want to do, because I'll show you, he's a bit evil. We need to weaponize the word, because he's thinking of it that way. Oh, thanks, Jack. I really, really appreciate it. That's why I do this, to get people to read it. I've probably got time for one last question from you, Chuck, or wrap up, because I have to rush off. But look, usual stuff is, please check out Wordsmith. I really appreciate it if you do. Like I've mentioned to a lot of people, we do this because we love to do it. As creators, it's something that we put passion to it. Like, to be honest with you, and like what Chuck mentioned, lettering is a passion for me. So if anybody comes to me on lettering, I will be passionate about your work. And I haven't met the people I work with from lettering. They get what they'll get where they need to get to, because I in fact, most cases, and this is what I said to a lot of people. Once I'm rolling, it's pretty straightforward. But man, the first 5 pages takes me a long time to do, because I want to get the font size right, because on the page it's different for everybody. The font sizes are different for different pages. It's not consistent, because if somebody is doing work with very small panels, I will adjust the font size to fit, and then it needs to be consistent all the way through the story. So the first 5 pages of a letterer, I'm serious, that takes 50, no, not 50, about 30-40% of the entire job is the first 5 pages. Then the last 20 is boom, 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 boom. Last questions before I have to duck off?
I don't I don't know that I actually have any questions. I think you did terrific. I really appreciate you coming on and really hitting us not only with the knowledge, but also with your love of what you do. I mean, I think that's absolutely huge. We got Chuck, I think, but why a wordsmith? I'm not completely sure what you mean there. Sorry.
I think I get it. Like, he wants a wordsmith so that it's easier to understand. A lot of things.
Okay.
If you get a wordsmith, it's boom. There you go. That's the word. It's done. It's dusted.
Sweet. So no, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Oh, he said Chuck. Oh, okay, Chuck. I think, but what? Okay, now it makes a lot more sense. Thank you so much, Stephen, for coming out. I really appreciate you, and I really love your passion for what you do and everything. And I really appreciate you you coming on out. Thank you so much. I'm gonna keep the show going, guys, so we can keep talking about whatever. But I want everybody to go check out Wordsmith, and you know what? Honestly, check out what Stephen is doing, because he brings a passion and a knowledge to what he does, and that is so important in the indie community. So, Stephen, thank you for coming out, and thank you for doing what you do, how you do it.
Thank you for having me. I've got to run now, but look, thank you so much.
You're very welcome, buddy. Take care of yourself.
See ya.
Guys, I haven't done this before. This is just us now. Well, I mean, I've certainly done this before, but we can just talk us. we can go on a little bit further. I feel like 40 minutes. It's not enough. I like hanging out with you guys, having a good time. So my guest, because he was in the middle of work, he made whatever time he could. I have a little bit extra time, so why don't we hang out a little bit? One of the things that he didn't get to speak to too much, but it's certainly he ran around it, and that was, as an editor, one of the most important things that we do, and also letter or anything else, is we ask the question, why? Why are you doing this? And he, instead of mentioning why, he talked about why. Chuck, first time is every time. Right? It feels like it. I'm sorry, Ciranova. Don't worry, buddy. You can always catch us on the replay. That's the best part. And that way you don't actually have to, deal with all these assholes in the chat. But yeah, guys, why is so important, because a lot of times people will be like, man, this is a really cool thing to do. Yeah, but why are you doing it? Because it's cool. That's a shitty reason. It should make sense. It should have some kind of feeling, like when he was talking about having the see-through lettering, because he wanted you to see the visceral images behind. Peyton. Nicely done, Peyton. Nicely done, buddy. By the way, nice having you here, buddy. Seriously. So that kind of stuff is really important. If you guys have any questions or anything that you guys want to talk about in this last little bit, feel free to hit me with it. I love chilling out with you guys and having a good old time. And if not, we'll wind it down. So, I'm gonna have a quick drink, and we'll see if there's something going on. If there's something you guys want to chat about. Martin Piero. Yes, why is so important? Why is character A doing action Z? Yeah, but even like when he was talking about, like I said earlier, the invisible letters, or he was explaining, how the lettering moves down the page and how it allows your eyes to move. All of that stuff. There's a why to that. You should know what drives your story. You should know what drives your story, but also what drives your choices. Choices in lettering. Why you pick particular fonts, particular colors, particular boxes and shapes, and all that kind of stuff. All that stuff should matter. Chuck, did you go out and buy any pants, or did you just stick with all your shorts? Fuck that. I stuck with my shorts. I totally did. Cameron Smith says, how does one play Pocket Jacks? Well, it depends. If you're Doc, you just push all in every time with Pocket Jacks. For me, Pocket Jacks scare the shit out of me, because you'll push a lot of money in with Pocket Jacks, and then you'll see Ace, King, Queen on the flop, and you're like, shit, I gotta walk away. What I like to do is I like to play Pocket Jacks a little hard pre-flop. If I can, maybe go in 3-4 times blind just to get some stupid hands out of the way. Also, if people call, chances are they're doing better than me. Like they have an ace, a king, a queen. So if that stuff lands, I can kind of get away easy. Or sneak in. That's another fun thing to do. Either or are the ways I like to do it. If I'm jamming with Pocket Jacks, it's because it's late game and I gotta win. Anyways, page turns is such a lost art, and I am huge about page turns. With panel also, I am a fucking stickler. I get on people all the time. This page turn sucks. That to me, that final panel in the bottom right hand page is so bloody important. And if you're not utilizing that to the absolute best, you're not doing your job as a writer and as a creator. Katrina says, sorry, I missed you, SK. I wanted to say I enjoyed working with you. He's a good dude, isn't he? Was he lettering with you, hon, or was he? That's interesting. Mike, so I had an odd thought. What you think is the most famous indie comic with Marvel or DC? The first kind of image would be as impressive with having just left Marvel. I guess Ninja Turtles. Well, Ninja Turtles. The guys from Ninja Turtles were never really worked with Marvel and DC. Marvel or DC being the force. Well, I mean, Marvel and DC is rarely the force behind any of this indie stuff anymore, or either isn't or is. You know what I mean? I know that sounds like a really fucking lame answer. But I think the thing is more and more people are understanding that Marvel and DC are a stop on the journey that is creating comics. And so if they are your end stop, you're often going to find your journey is actually a little disappointing, because very few people end there and just stay there. That is not something that happens very often. So if that was your end point, you're probably going to be disappointed when you're let go or your contract, lapses and you move on and stuff. So, without. Okay, cool. All right, that helps an awful lot. Sorry, let's go back. So I had an thought. What do you think is the most famous indie comics without Marvel or DC being the force behind it? Ninja Turtles is definitely one. Yeah, that's true. How do you do page turns on webtoons or webcomic? I mean, that's that would be a little more difficult, but I guess what you could do is spacing. So you could certainly have like a cluster of panels kind of close together and then spacing. But also, a lot of times, don't you have either one panel or a couple panels on a page, and then and it's like that's the page that we're showing today, and then that's another. And so with that, you're rather than having two pages, left and right, and you're left and right, whatever, because you're seeing this backwards, then you would only be looking at the one bottom right panel rather than both. Whereas this one, every bottom right panel would matter because that's the last thing you're kind of leaving the reader off for that week. So that's kind of probably how I would do. That's a really good question, Peyton. But again, I'm not a webtoons guy necessarily. I haven't played enough in that. So, you lettered for Mike Gordon. Oh yeah, that's right. Or no, he lettered and you proofed. That's right. Sierra Nova says, when you helped us last year on why page turns are so important, we now make sure in all new scripts we have in the works and in the future to have those turn paid. Yeah. See, smart. It's just, like I said, it's so important. It's such an important part of drama. I had someone who I respect a fair amount tell me that they weren't important, and I just scoffed. I was like, I feel like it's literally having this amazing tool in your toolbox and going, fuck it, I don't need a screwdriver. Are you kidding me? Screwdrivers are awesome. They're used for everything. Why the fuck would you not have a screwdriver? Like, it's a tool that's in there. Do you have to have them? Certainly not. But it's a really great way to pull people along. And the person said, well, a good writer doesn't need that. No, a good writer uses it. That's what makes them a good writer, because they have that tool and they utilize it. Holy shit. Sorry, I got very passionate. Page turns huge to me. I don't know if you answered my question about your shorts and buying pants, possibly because Facebook cut on me. I did not fucking buy pants. No, fuck that shit. I'm wearing my shorts still right now. Not doing that. Peyton said, if you worked for Marvel or DC, you aren't indie anymore. So, Peyton, I disagree with that. You aren't indie while you work for them. But as soon as you leave, you're back to being indie again because you're working independently. Indie is when you have a corporation backing you. And so, I got to interview Justin Gray from DC, who's the writing partner of Jimmy Palmiotti. And to say that he's not indie anymore is unfair because he is publishing his stuff independently. He doesn't have any corporation behind him. Does he have a following and all that? Yeah, but to say that, indies don't have a following or don't have big two creds and whatnot, I don't think that's a fair statement. So, I would have to disagree with you on that one. Peyton, that's what I've been doing, so I will call that correct. He's biggest fan. That's very cool stuff. Mog, what's going on, beautiful? How you doing? Keith and Alan, you must nurse the audience along. That's very true, Keith. I very much agree with that. By the way, thank you. Welcome to the show. I don't think we've seen you here before. So happy to have you here. It's true though. You do have to kind of nurse that the audience around along, and that's why I find those turn pages to be so damn important. And noticing them and understanding them and all that, it's a big deal. Kevin Gillette, I agree with you. I think you know your shit. um, yeah, yeah. Keith, absolutely, I totally agree with you. Um, I liken turn pages to commercials, because the thing is that when a TV hits a commercial, they have to have grabbed you just hard enough that you go, well, I'm about to listen to 3 minutes of somebody pitching shit at me that I don't need to see what happens in the rest of the story. Now, I know you'll look at me and you go, Chuck, all they're doing is turning a page. But when I turn a page, it's just as simple to fucking not turn the page. Yeah, see, Mog says you got to keep them turning. And that's no. You can lay all your fucks out there. You can fuck as much as you want, buddy. But yeah, you want to keep people turning. Give them every reason to keep turning. Always grab them. And you know what? I'll do that all the time. I went over Bilal 2, and I have to say I'm so excited with Bilal 2 because I pushed those turn pages as much as I possibly could. I really just came in there. There's some really neat moments. If you look at the page that I just dropped the other day, I showed it off on my page and on the Belial page. You'll see at that very bottom panel that Link is getting choked by famine. First off, I was very happy with showing that page off because it made you guys go, holy shit, what's going on here? What's happening with our buddy Link? It gets you guys excited. You really want to know what's happening. That was also my turn page. So you seeing Link getting choked, you're like, shit, what happens next? You have to turn, you have to see. That's one of those things, man. To have that on the left side of the page and not the left side and not have it being shown off, and I instantly find out what's going on. So you haven't really drawn anyone, forced them to want to turn that page. So yeah, they get the story, but it's kind of like it's an instantaneous rather than a that momentary gasp. That moment of excitement. The moment between pages is something that people aren't thinking enough about. And that between pages moment, that moment of anticipation, it's huge. It's huge. And if you're not considering that, you're missing out. Mog says, people can have a short attention span. Got to keep them interested so they stay with you and turn that page to find out what happens next. Yes, and I will not give you an excuse to drop that book. And that's something I'm very big on. Do not give them an excuse, especially, guys, with your 22-page floppies, with your little, with your single issue comics. Do not. That should be a once-through read. It's like 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 15 tops, depending on how verbose you are. That should be a sit-down. So when someone says, oh, it took me a while to read it, I picked it up and put it down, that guy fucked up. Either they fucked up or this person didn't have 5 minutes just to read. So, yeah, man, make it so that if they have a 5-minute break and they're like, oh, I'll just read as much as I can, force them to take the extra 2 minutes. Force them to go over their break or to finish it, do whatever they possibly can. That's your job as the writer. Fucking do it. Peyton says yes, and since Hitchcock was brought up, there's a split second where they fill in the blanks before the turn is done. Yeah. They might already have the answer, but they need you to know it. Like they need to know, is this what's happening? The blank spaces between are as important as the words. Yes. Yeah. See, Keith, you get it. Good for you, buddy. Something in the last panel. Yeah, make me gasp, baby. That's good for you, Katrina. Always make it sexual, guys, and everyone's going to be interested. That goes for the show. That goes for your book. Good job, bud. Look at Trucks doing the left side at the Japanese. I know, right? I'm trying, buddy. I'm doing what I can. This backwards compete. I have a setup that I'm going to be working real soon. Camera. I was gifted a camera. I have a really nice microphone. I just got to get them set up. I'm just terrible with this. John Westhoff is rolling over in his grave. He's not dead? Fuck. Maybe next time. Just kidding. I love John. It's all showbiz. Thou shalt not bore. That's right. Fuck yeah. Reading backwards. Yeah, and if they do walk away, the timing is ruined. The tension could go. Yes, absolutely. You sink your hooks in. That's it. You've got your opportunity, man. Why are you guys not taking it? You guys get it. You guys completely get it. Absolutely. Is there anything else that you guys? We've just talked to death page turns, and I love that everybody's so excited about it and they get them. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about while we're doing this? Because you've got my full attention right now. I'm not trying to do anything else, hang out with anyone else. My wife is doing a lovely drawing. I'm staying nice and warm as my camera gets knocked around. Whip. But yeah, is there anything else you guys want to do? I can put this up. Boom. Ask away. We didn't have the time with SK, but you do now. So certainly feel free. Yeah. Oh, dude, this has been a great crowd. You guys are terrific. So my pet peeve, credit your team on the damn cover. So Peyton, that's interesting too. You and I don't necessarily agree with anyone, but I feel you. I'm actually starting to go the opposite direction. And here's why. I've noticed that a lot of times people put the writer and the artist on the front. And so like probably I'd say because the other things I work on, Essence House, Bilal, they're not wholly mine. So the decisions aren't completely mine. But so like Welcome to the Void. There's a good chance the next Welcome to the Void won't have any names on the cover. And that's because when I really stopped to think about it, and again, it's about that why, guys. When I stopped to think about it, I thought, why is my name on the cover? Does my name actually sell a book? Like, I mean, technically, in the indie world, I'm starting to develop a name and whatnot, but really, it doesn't sell a book. So it's on there for an egotistical reason. So I would almost say if you're going to put names up there, yeah, maybe put them all up there. Okay. But I would fight you and say, don't put any fucking names on there. Well, why are you destroying this art and taking away from this beautiful art that is a cover page when that's what the inner is for, the inside cover is for. You can oh yeah, see, Peyton, I'm fine with none. My point was equality. Don't put pencils and writer and leave it. Yeah. See, I feel you. Because you know what else I've seen, Peyton? Is I have seen someone take you on that and agree with you and go, okay, cool. You know what? You're right. The inker and the colorist and the letterer, they're important too. I'm going to put them up. Where's your editor? You're always going to forget someone. What about the person who formatted the book? Like eventually it just gets stupid. It's like, stop it. Don't do it at all. Credit them on the inside. Yeah, see, Katrina says credit on the inside. Yeah, that's the most important thing. I agree with that. How are your dogs dealing with all this cold? I have 2 dogs. One fucking loves it. One fucking hates it. So right here is Finn. How you doing, buddy? He is a Canadian-style dog. We have a law, and they've been pushing it very hard here. They don't want animals left out for long periods of time because of the inclement weather, which I understand. My dog doesn't give a shit. He loves the snow. If we left him out most of the day, he would be happy. But of course, I don't want to give any reason for police or anybody else to come by here. So we let him out for about 15 minutes at a time, but we try to do it as often as we can because he loves it. The other one hates it. So I let him out. He runs, takes a piss, takes a shit, and he's right back in. It's literally like a 2-3 minute ordeal. That's it. Katrina, how are those EH? Hun, I'm not doing a lot right now. Like this weather and everything going on, it's been ridiculous. So I think I'm almost done chapter 15, but I'm trying to get all that done as soon as possible. It's not coming fast enough. That's the honest. Oh, excuse me. Some names sell books, but Virgin covers are awesome. I agree. I'm so happy we have the Chris Mad Virgin cover, which I just love that piece. And so there will be I haven't seen that cover yet, like as far as because we're still finishing the innards and whatnot, but I will tell you, I don't suspect that you'll see anything on the front of that cover except for that gorgeous fucking image. Not even my publisher logo will be on there because it's just too beautiful. None of that shit deserves to be on there with that gorgeous Chris Mad piece. It should be done to sell books. My name won't sell shit. Peyton, mine won't either. So yeah, I fucking feel you, buddy. Yeah, I think if the names are on there at our level, it's usually an ego thing, and so it doesn't need to be on there. Totally agree, brother. I'm Chuck. I don't give a fuck, so my name's on the project. I do give a fuck. Mog says, but should still need to have the artist signatures on there to not just credit them, but precaution. Oh, the signatures. I love having the signatures on the cover. I'm okay with that. And actually, I would go one step further. I feel like the artist should have their signature on there. Like the penciler should, the inker, and the colorist. If there are 3 different people, I want all 3 of those fucking signatures on there. I think that's so important. Because the penciler shouldn't be given the love for that singular image when someone else came in and helped with it. So I totally agree with you there, Hun. I would like to see all of those signatures on there. And I do like the signatures. I think what I love about them is artists are naturally smart. They don't want to ruin their own piece. So they usually have them situated in a place where your eyes don't immediately fall upon it. And upon looking at the whole beautiful image, at some point you'll go, oh, there it is. And you'll find it. But it's not like glaringly in your face. So I think, if you can do something like that and have them all in there, yeah, that's just perfect. Katrina, I'm behind myself, lack of running water. So yeah, we've had running water off and on. We've had power off and on, mostly on, but some off. We just got hot water back, but we only have hot water in our taps, not in our shower. So get a little funky. All right, I had a shower like 2 days ago, but I love a good hot shower, especially when I'm this cold. So not having that kind of sucks. I'm hoping to have my shower back very soon. So I feel you, hun. It's not fun. Mog agrees on the signatures. Good. I'm glad. I always forget my signature on the cover. So editor Chuck, if you ever see a cover I did, remind me, please. Yes. And Peyton, let's work on something together. I'd love that. That'd be great. Or let's at least, we got to meet up sometime. You and I were in the same state. We need some Texas pride. You know what I mean? Mug says, Mel constantly reminds me to get my signature there. Yeah. Just show that little bit of this is you. All right. Yeah, it does suck. I miss the shower. Get enough snow to build an igloo. I don't want to. I want to stay inside my warm house. I don't want to have to wear a blanket. I told you guys, I fucking hate pants. I don't want to have to wear a blanket either. Yes, there's a lot of losses. It's not fun. So yeah, man, I just we need pride and heaters. Yes, we need all of that, dude. How are you doing, by the way, Peyton? How's this? Pflugerville's not that far away. You shouldn't have hot water place and not the other. There's a valve issue in your shower diverter, Chuck. This is my boy Cam. He's awesome.
That's frozen.
Yeah. So the tap, the actual shower tap is frozen, right, babe? Yeah. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Like there's ice on the inside.
Yeah, there's actually ice on the inside of that tap. What's really dumb? So this house that we're at, we're renting, and I guess you have the shower, and then on the opposite wall, like right on the opposite side of the shower, if you busted your hand through where the tap is, it's the water heater.
Because you have to get to them outside.
But you have to go around the house to get to it. Well, I guess at some point this house is so kind of shitty, and that's like a far way, like that's off to the side. You almost can't get over there. especially not a chubby dude like me. And so I think that door fell off, and so it just froze so easily. So that tap actually froze. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh wow, oh wow, indeed. Sean Keenan, my man, we had your boy SK in here. He was in and out like a trout, but he dropped all sorts of really interesting information for us. He was absolutely fantastic, just a great dude. Peyton says we're good. I'd like to not jinx it, but the worst of it is the water pressure. Probably have frozen outside valves. Crossing fingers it doesn't bust. Yeah. Are you making sure to leave your taps on at night? Don't forget. It's always a good thing to do. We've been doing that. Something else we'll do to kind of warm up the house a little bit. I'll turn the stove on. This is the oven on. Turn it on to like 400 degrees. Leave it closed for about 3 minutes, and then open it up and just let all that heat come out. And heat up the kitchen for a little bit. I like to leave it open. You know, it wastes a lot of energy, but fuck it. We need to warm up. So I'll do it for an hour at a time, once or twice a day, just to give us some of that extra heat. Then shut it down and close it down. I know my kiddo did that one night. Luckily, they're smart enough they let it go for an hour, and then that's it. A drip is all you get. Yeah. So basically, you have it on full. Just when you do that, make sure to only have it on a drip, because even if it drips completely, even if you have it completely open, if it stops dripping and if it starts flowing, you could have overflow, and then you have cold water all over your floors. So yeah, leave it actually dripping, not just not a lot is coming out dripping. Sean, you don't have a Kickstarter going on right now, do you? If you do, if anyone does, drop the links in here. We're just having a fun old time chit chatting away. We had to go tape and saran wrap windows, doors. Yes, we were talking about doing that. We used to do that in Canada. We put it wouldn't be saran wrap. We had like really thick plastic, right? Painters.
Drip cloths.
Yeah, the drip cloths for painters, and we'd put that up and we'd tape that, and I'll tell you, that really did affect the house. Huge. Put those up in the winter, and that because you lose so much heating. I know we're talking about comics, but whatever. You lose so much heat through the windows. So putting those up was just a massive change. It helped so much. There you go. Okay, launching soon. Cool. So check that out, guys. Follow along. Sean always brings the fun. His line is called Comics to Movies, and there's always a real action, fun, cinematic sentimentality to what he does. So do that. Check that out if that's something that you enjoy. Check out his work. Katrina, rolled towels at outside doors help. Yeah, that's true. I haven't done that. That's not a bad idea at all. You know what? My problem is my doors get open too fucking much. That I know they're gonna get moved. Yeah, Jack, we're supposed to talk about comics. I know, but it's so fucking cool for so many of us. I'm sure anyone who's watching this in the replay has already left. So whatever. We're having a good old time right now, gang. But you're absolutely right. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else going on in here. Just looking around. Okay. No. All right, Trish. What is Trish on? Oh yeah, that's right. Russ just dropped his book, which I believe the lovely Katrina edited as well. So that's something. Chris, you missed. Chris, I literally mentioned your name in today's episode. Literally mentioned your name in today's episode because we were talking about lovely Virgin covers, and I was telling them about the amazing cover that you did for Belial 2, which I just adore, and so we had to make it a Virgin because we didn't want anything messing up all of the art. Look at that. All of his monsters that he's got there in his upcoming book. So check that one out. The link is already in there for you guys to follow. Yes. Russell's book. Yeah. Very excited. And he has a much lower goal this time. I know he's going to make it, and now we're finally going to be able to get that book and check it out and see what he's been on about. Because I think we all want to see Russ. We want to see all of us do well. Hopefully, I know there's some assholes out there. I wouldn't. I wouldn't wish them ill, but I certainly wouldn't be in their corner cheering either, if you know what I mean. Peyton has a Kickstarter starting March 1st. No link yet. Uh, Tell us. Give us a quick little pitch. Maybe we'll even help you rip apart the pitch and fix it if you want. If not, just put up the pitch and tell us. Have you ever tried contacts or wanted to know? I'm never going to because I don't like things going. Yeah, that's it, buddy. I don't like touching my fucking eyes. I yeah. I no glasses for the rest of my life. I actually have to get new ones because I find myself reading and every once in a while I'll take it off so that I can check stuff. So I definitely need new prescription. Had these glasses for what, babe? Like 9 years? I think like 9 years. So yeah, definitely gotta get some new ones. But yeah, my mom actually had to go in for cataract surgery and she made them put her to sleep. And she said they don't like doing that. And I said, I don't give a fuck. Like you would need to not only bind my arms, but you'd need to bind my neck, my head, everything, because I would be not okay with you bringing anything near my eye. Oh, Chris says I'm touching my eye now. Fuck you, because I'm imagining it, and I hate that. Ugh. Yeah, you, Chris. Katrina, you're dead right. Yeah, I love him, but he's disgusting. Um, Here's a Kickstarter that Mog is on. Go check that one out. What is this for? Nira X Reborn issue 2? Okay, I'll take a look at that. Justin said contacts messed me up years ago, can't do them. What happened? Like was it something that you did? Like did you put them in while they were dirty, or did you wear them for too long, or did the doctors fuck up somehow? I'm interested because I'm never gonna fucking wear the things anyways. So it's not like you can sell me out of them. It's not happening. Um there's another one, Lords of the Cosmos, issue 4. Jack said, and if you also have a sense of smell, you also smell your cornea burning when they're doing that surgery. Yeah, I mean, yeah, man, and they did that when I had my vasectomy. It was the same thing where like you can literally smell your sack burning, and you're just like, oh fuck, like you know the smell of flesh burning, and it's just nothing good about that. Nothing good at all. Holy shit, girl, you're dropping a lot of these. Wow. Okay, good for you. Katrina's like, I'll be blind. Yeah, girl, I appreciate you there completely. I'm totally there. Sean, I wore them too long and lost sight for a day. Wow, really? Oh, see, that shit scares me. I would pull them out every fucking hour if I knew that. That would be like my issue. So yeah, man. Mm-mm. That shit scares the fucking shit out of me. Um, Chris Matt earlier said he doesn't have goals. Bad call. I mean, I think having goals is huge. But I think even without goals, you're doing really well. Couldn't hurt to create some. I know I have some, and I'm working towards them. And I'm trying to make them happen. Um, Back to all. That's why this pay week. Wow, hon. We're glad for your support. We love you very much, and honestly, we really hope that you love what you get from us. I can't wait. I've been getting tons of lettered pages from Scott Weldon for Bilal. I think we're up into the double digits now. I think I just got page 10 or 11, and I'm having a blast reading them because I get to laugh all over the jokes because I've already moved on and forgotten a lot of the jokes I wrote. Wendy was looking at one of them and she read it. What was the one you were laughing at? Somebody, um, one of the guy. Oh no, famine ended up looking like something that pestilence had picked out from his teeth.
Yeah, he said. Link said it looks like somebody feed this guy. It looks like something that famine picked out of his teeth. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. Yes, you do need to work on your Kickstarter page. Absolutely, you do. Um, oh, sorry, Chris didn't mean that he didn't have any goals. I had said that someone has a lower goal for Kickstarter, and he was like, "Oh, I don't have a goal at all." Fair enough. You don't have a Kickstarter at the moment, so yeah. Though you know what, Chris, at some point you should consider making an art book. Dude, your stuff is beautiful, and you can talk as much shit and be as self-deprecating as you want, but I think an art book by Chris Mad would actually go a long way. That's something you might want to consider, man. And hell, run a Kickstarter for it, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like, um, look at this.
I buy it.
Yeah, Wendy would buy it. You know what? We'll get 2 copies. Fuck it. Mike says goals like getting good enough to need a Chris Mad cover. Yeah, right. Dude, you see, Chris Mad covers. The problem with the Chris Mad covers is now I want one on every one of my books. So now I have to look and go, is this something that needs a Chris Mad book or a Chris Mad cover? And usually the answer ends up being, yeah. I'm having a harder time talking myself out of it. Not that I should talk myself out of it, but you know what I'm saying. Jack says, Chuck, is there anything you wouldn't do if Dare paid to that wouldn't get you in legal trouble? Certainly there is. There's a line, but my line is pretty out there. Like obviously with the hot sauce snorting, all that kind of stuff. I don't mind hurting myself to a point. Um, really, at the end of the day, I have no problem kind of fucking around and doing stupid shit to entertain. So I probably wouldn't hurt myself in a way that was permanent. So like would I do like a tattoo or something? Not likely. Sierra Nova, no, I haven't seen any Kickstarter links come up from you. So no, sorry. Um, but yeah, the list of things that I would do is actually fairly long. I would do a lot of stupid stuff. I mean, you've seen me shirtless, snorting hot sauce, taking hot sauce shots. I would do all sorts of stupid stuff because it's entertaining, it's fun, and I think as long as the audience still feels like they're a part of it, as long as you're not alienating them, yeah, man, there's an awful lot that I would do, and hell, there's some illegal shit I would certainly do too. Um, see, Chris, Mike is saying they'd get it too. Um, she wants the special original art tier as well. Chris, see, look, dude, I just screwed you. Now you have to make an art book because we've got all these people in here. Uh, um, let's start that rumor and say yes, he does. Let's Wendy, don't tell them or just lie.
What?
They asked if I have a long one, so just lie or don't tell them. The hot shots were fun, weren't they? I had to, you know what? They hurt so much. Obviously, I think I ended up throwing up, but it was entertaining. Everyone had a good time with it. We laughed through it. Yeah, man. I wanted you guys to have a good time with it. Um, yeah, I would. I've already been thinking, and both Sean and I have been thinking, like, is there a way to make our own hot sauce? Like, it's a lot of work and money, but it's totally worth it. So it's a thought. Katrina says she'd add a tattoo tier to her Kickstarter. I mean, technically we had one. We said if we made 10K, we were gonna Sean and I were gonna go get tattoos, and I think that will probably stick around. So on the next one, if we get a tattoo, if we hit 10K, we'll still do the tattoo. I haven't talked to him about this. A long list. I do have a long list, very long one. Oh yeah. So yeah, I would totally do do lots of stupid shit, and I would do a tattoo as well. Yeah. Oh, it says that there's going to be a high of 37 degrees tomorrow in Canyon Lake. That's where I live, and I'm excited because that's above freezing. Fucking yay!
For the first time in like 5 days.
Yeah, a Bilal hot sauce. Why wouldn't a Bilal hot sauce be awesome? Yes, it is something would like to do. Just have to find someone to do it at a price that is doable. You know what I mean? Jack said, I know you're stretching your arms for that tattoo, but I thought it was supposed to be a face tattoo. No, it was never gonna be a face tattoo. If it's a face tattoo, I would shave part of my beard and put it under my beard and then grow over it and probably never fucking shave my beard again. Because I think this is a beautiful face, even when it's all filled with hair, when the long mane is going on. No, I wouldn't do that shit. I have to wait to Sunday to hit 33. I'm so excited. Hey, hun, I'm glad for you. I mean, for us, 37 is. I mean, 37 is cold normally for us. So to be excited about getting up to 37 is fucking stupid. The air freshener. I was just showing off that picture today. I'm excited about the air freshener. Hopefully we're getting a new car soon. We're still working out all the bullshit with Wendy's accident, but I would love to have that air freshener up in the new car when we do get it. A nice sexy mole on my cheek. You mean like the animal, or like a Cindy, or not Cindy Lauper, Cindy Crawford mole, like right here. Just like shave my mustache and just little beauty mark there. That's not a bad idea, my friend. And then I'll tell everyone it's cancerous just to kind of freak them out. That was a terrible joke. I'm sorry. Yes, the animal. Yeah, right. Just have like a little mole sticking out of the ground that is my lip. And then I would definitely grow my mustache back over that, because yeah, that's how I roll. Is there any more? Okay, cool. So Greg is showing us off some things. Seed Seekers, fun book. I've worked on some of those books. The tail could be your mustache. That's a fun idea. Dead End Moon. I've jumped on that one as well. Mog says 67 here on Sunday. I can wear shorts, then getting close to Hawaii weather. Oh, I would love to get there. I'm still wearing shorts. Fuck this. I won't leave them. Fly Trap. Yeah, that's another one that's happening. Yeah. Feel free to keep them going, Greg. You're a solid dude. I appreciate that you do that. What else do you have? Oh yeah, one last job. I jumped on that one as well. Look at my hair, looking beautiful. Wow. Unparalleled. I jumped on that one. I was one of the first couple of people on that one as well. I think I was like person number 2 or 3 on that one, I believe. I jumped on pretty quick. The Pits is another one that's happening. I know that we have issue 1 here. We haven't read it yet, so we are gonna have to check that one out soon. Maybe even talk about it on Chuck's Raw Reviews. What's Trish? Custom sauces. Oh, okay, Trish. Thank you for that. The listener, yeah, I've heard Kevin Gillette and a couple others have been talking about that as well. Do we have any more now? At this point, we're just talking about other projects. Before, huh?
You mentioned chefs too.
Did he mention chefs?
Yeah.
Did I miss it? There's one. Cypher Team IO1. Excuse me. Oh, yeah. Okay. Chefs we're going to be picking up because Wendy grabbed that one. She's a big Tyler Carpenter fan. And I like Tyler too. He's a solid dude. If you made your own hot sauce, what kind of sauce would you make? That's a terrific question. I don't know, how many of you know, but I am a former chef. To me, hot sauces should both hurt and give you but they should hurt with flavor. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not interested in punching you in the face. I want to punch you in the face and make you like it, make you have to come back for more. So I love the idea of having the sweet and spicy. I love things like adding things like maybe a grilled pineapple flavor, some caramelized onions, stuff like that, lime juice instead of vinegar, like all that kind of stuff. Just really kind of, and then of course you would have like habanero or poblano. One that I find a lot of people don't use, really spicy one, is chili pequins, which is big down here in Texas. I would want to do that just because I know that a lot of people don't do that. Yeah, see, Peyton says, but no vinegar. Absolutely no vinegar. But instead of vinegar, you can use citric acid. So you can certainly use lemon juice, lime juice, etc. Vinegar is important though, because what that vinegar does, a lot of people don't realize, is it actually opens up your taste buds, so it makes that sauce even more flavorful. Would I put truffle sauce in my hot sauce? You know what? I wouldn't, and the reason for that is I've never really been rich enough to try truffle sauce, so I don't really know enough about what it tastes like. But also, I'm not a bougie dude. Like I'm kind of a poor guy. Always have been. Haven't been able to afford it. So for me, I would want anyone to be able to taste it, kind of understand what the flavor profile is of it, and go, ooh, okay, I can taste this, this, and this, and really understand it all. I think you can still be complex without having to use complex ingredients, like having to really shell out and spend a lot of money. So I don't think I would in that regard. I like sweeter barbecue sauce with heat. I agree. Yep. Peyton said I'd like a black garlic hot sauce. Yeah, I agree with that. That would be cool. And actually, I've heard of some black garlic hot sauces out there. That's a really good one. I think actually one of the Hot Ones sauces, I know they had a garlic hot sauce. Whether it was black garlic, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I haven't. It's been a long time since I've had. It's been a long time since I've had black garlic, so I would want to give it another flavor or give it another taste and see what it mixes well with. You know, one thing that I found mixes really well, and you guys are going to laugh at me, is tequila. Tequila. Some friends of mine, they sat down and they're like, they were doing like a bottle of Patron, because here in Texas, we have beer bars and you can just bring your own liquor. And so they brought a beautiful bottle of Patron, and they were like, hey, do you want to do a shot of Patron with us? And I was like, yeah, okay. And they had pineapple juice, and they would do shots of the Patron with a pineapple back. And so you would hit that pineapple back, and it was so good. That chaser was just beautiful. It completely cleaned everything out. So I would love to do a pineapple tequila hot sauce. I think that would be really neat. I think people would like that an awful lot. So that's something I would like to play with. Oh no, that sucks, dude. Can you take anything like beforehand to be able to, or you just, if you're gonna do it, you just know you're fucked. um Chris Matt is sending me messages, and I can only see just enough of them to know that if I read the rest of it, I would laugh my ass off and ignore you guys completely. So sorry, Chris, I'm not reading that, but you're fucking hilarious, and I love you, dude. You don't drink anymore. That's okay, because you would cook out the tequila. The tequila, when you cook the sauce, that tequila would, the actual alcohol would cook out. So I would make sure that it had 0% alcohol. Which I think is important anyways, though. I mean, the idea of getting drunk and having hot sauce at the same time is a little enticing. Yeah, it does sound. I know you're not a big drinker either, Katrina, but yeah, it would be nice. I'd like that. Ooh, speaking of that, Wendy and I have some hot wings I need to make, don't I? Okay. All right, I'm gonna get on that real soon. Ooh, Wendy's doing a drawing. That looks really good. You're doing a very good job. He's going to appreciate that a lot. We have some secret drawings that we're working on. Can't talk about it too much. Chuck, that's hot sauce. That hot sauce is called a pineapple tequila sunrise. Is that actually a thing? Did I like already stumble across something that is already a thing? Chris is saying, I thought I was typing in the stream. Did you actually? Because I thought I was. You're sending these messages, and I'm like, oh shit. I want to respond, but I'll ignore everyone if I do. Yeah, Jack, am I Did I just fall into something that already exists? Because if so, that sucks. Because I think that would be fun. Chris has been drinking, apparently. I think, we all may have been drinking without actually doing it. You get no solid food or spice or of any kind. Are you able to, like, can you put any kind of seasoning or anything in your, because right now you're on like protein shakes and shit, right? Can you put any kind of seasoning in them or anything? That's what you would call it if you made. Oh yes, yeah, that would be great. Yep, I'd actually like to do one named after the bar in Belial, and the name of the bar in Belial is the Devil's Own. So I would like to call it the Devil's Own hot sauce, which feels about right. Broth is your limit, but can you put any spice? Like, could you throw some pepper in the broth, or like Italian seasonings, sea salt, kosher salt, anything? Nicholas Mueller, what's up? I'm trying not to burp real loud. That carbonated water's hitting me hard. If I drink, game's on. Yeah, I feel you, dude. I feel you. I haven't really drank in a while. I drank a little bit over the pandemic, but haven't been able to do an awful lot of it. And I mean, do I really want to drink alone? Not really. The bar called the Devil's Own, right next to the bar called the Devil's a Bitch. That would, yeah, I would like to know what the Devil's a Bitch bar would look like. That would be fun. You know what though? I think Wendy and I are gonna spend some time together because she's going back to work. So I think I'm gonna peace out, guys. Thank you so much. Oh shit. Peyton comes in with something interesting. Let's see what Peyton's saying. I had a sauce from New Orleans one time called Devil's Blood. It said to put 1 drop per gumbo pot. So, of course, I had a friend that was like, oh, this isn't hot, and tasted it. They cried, put a finger to the eye. That's the end right there. Hot sauce didn't wash off. They cried more. Yeah, I have a I was working with hot sauce and touched my dick story. And, dude, it's not good. It does not end well. Mild stuff right now. Should move to scrambled eggs and oatmeal soon. Oh, good for you. Cool. Good for you. I hope, I'm glad that you're moving on up. That's great. Katrina says, I don't drink alone. I'm good with social drinking, but booze equals carbs. Well, then we'll get you some, we'll have some vodka drinks together because vodka has no carbs. So that's what we'll do next time I'm up in Michigan. Thank you so much, Mike. I always enjoy hanging out with you guys. I appreciate you guys. I got to get an extra hour of just us hanging up. Y'all have a good one. That's right. Stay warm. Take care of yourselves. I love you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys coming out. Peace, love, and comics. My name is Chuck. I give a fuck. Come back next week where I will have. Who the hell do I have next week? I know I'm excited about them. Obviously, like it seems like I'm a liar because I don't fucking remember who it is, but I actually remember it kind of being a big deal. Shit, I'm gonna pop out just for a quick second. I'm gonna be here. I hope you guys can still see me. Who's on the show next week? Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, so next week I have from Soda and Telepath, Anthony Pollock is going to be here. So that's going to be really good. We're going to be talking about reviewing comics, and he's also a writer and whatnot. So we'll certainly talk about the techniques to writing and also editing and curating anthologies and whatnot. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all y'all. Take care. Peace out.